Welcome back to another show and tell video. Today we're looking at two blank firing adapter devices. Depending on how you would spell it in your locality, it could be pronounced adapter or adaptor. So feel free to choose your own technical spelling, but we just have two examples here. I'm sure there's quite a few more for the AK47 or AKM based platform. These are particularly, again, for the 47 series, not the 74, not the AN91s or anything like that, but particularly the AK or AKM 7.62 by 39 millimeter platform. So these two examples were obtained commercially. This one is East German, and I believe this one is Polish. So again, this one from the original East Germany time frame, and this one is a Polish manufacturer from Poland. So you can see a little bit of difference between the two, but functionally they do operate the same. So let's take a look at this one first, since this one's easier to look at. So cylindrical object, obviously. You can see through there that there is air flow through from the muzzle end to the tip. But basically what this does is it contains the gas flow emitted from the barrel as a projectile is being forced down the barrel. And in the case of using a blank, there is no projectile actually. So in order to have your platform function correctly, you need increased gas flow to run the action. So this helps divert more gas backwards by producing resistance at this end. As gas flows through this way, it hits resistance, causing a gas pressure buildup, which then returns back through the piston series of parts and then operates the action accordingly. So again, this is the East German version. You can see two slots here to aid with adding this device or removing this device. There are some knurled surface here to help with grip, and a few other machining aspects to it, a taper, a rim there, and a recess diameter there. So here is actually where the barrel detent would lock into place, and we'll get to that in a moment. And again, this area in here you can just see is threaded, so this would actually thread counterclockwise on and clockwise to take off. So this is a left-hand twist as opposed to more of a Western style right-hand twist mechanism. So yeah, East German version. This one is approximately 2 3/4 inches in length, and diameter wise roughly I'd say about 1.5 centimeters. In terms of inches, it's probably about 5/8 inches in diameter at the thickest point at the rim. If we look at this version here, we can see different material. I've actually done a magnetic test. Let's see. Oh, that's steel. That's steel as well. So it's just a different type of composition that makes this one more matte and gray in tone, as opposed to this, which seems to have a little bit more of a shiny, higher albedo element added to it in the alloy for this type of steel. Possibly even harder than this one as well, though it's hard to tell without doing a hardness test. But you can see the similarities between the two. Both have the narrow diameter compared to the muzzle end to restrict gas flow. This one is much shorter, so you can see the diameter of that end is actually comparable in size. It just seems to look larger because of depth, that this hole is sunk into the middle of the East German version. But in the Polish version, you can see some differences in the machining, that this seems to have it's about the same diameter, but the tapering is at a different angle. The two slots are similar, but the one on the Polish one seems to have some flaring towards the middle, so it is a slightly larger widths on the slots. And you can see as well there's no knurling down the side, but at the very base on this large rim, which is still about maybe about half a millimeter larger in diameter than this rim on that one, but you can see the various grip points as well as detent locking points, depending on how far this would be applied on. Again, this side is where it would attach to the muzzle, and you can just see the threading beginning in there as well, similar to this one. For comparison, this is what's called a slant brake. Typically, you can see where the detents would line up at the 12 o'clock position. You can see that even though the slots appear vertical on this blank firing adapter, in the same corresponding clock position, you can see that the tip of the slant brake is actually at an angle. And one reason for this is to compensate with a force where the gas would emit this way, and which would take the path of least resistance and flow upwards, while also forcing downwards in this position as the gas escapes this way. And what this does is it forces the tip of the barrel to likewise dip down and to the left to counteract what's sometimes a barrel rise in terms of the applicant's position. Looking this way, it is actually rising upwards and to their right. So kind of an interesting aspect there. Here you can see the threads corresponding in the same positions as on the blank firing adapters, but in this case, since this is an actual muzzle brake, you can see the large diameter to allow a projectile to go through. So if we were to demonstrate, say on this sample barrel here, if I can bring this into view, we're not actually assembling any devices here. This is just an example barrel, nothing really going on there, and these are just inert parts. So, and in fact, these would prevent projectiles from properly traveling down the muzzle. You could try, but it would not be recommended, either causing harm to the applicant or harm to your unit and item, and or at a minimum causing some sort of catastrophic failure of the blank firing adapter. But let's go ahead and put the East German one on first. So again, this would thread on counterclockwise in a left-hand manner. So I'm trying to get this to thread onto there. Okay, so you can see it is biting onto there. And I'm just going to bring it to the first detent position so it clicks. And I can put it all the way down because it is kind of hard to start the removal process. But you can see the detent is coming up on the slot in the corresponding slot in the rim. You can see it just clicked, and now you can see is resisting a turn. If I were to press down the detent, I could continue, and it will travel farther down counterclockwise until it hits the detent again and clicks into place and locks. To remove, I'm going to turn this clockwise again because of the left-hand twist, and off it comes. Now let's try the Polish one. Similarly, we thread it on counterclockwise. Be careful not to cause any cross threading. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find the edge this way. Come on. Okay, got it. So again, there's no actual dedicated detent slot position. This one has multiple positional slots. So you can see right there, it just clicked in the first one that was at the right height, but I can continue over and over again until it actually sits flush against the edge of the barrel and the front sight post here. So again, to remove, turning it clockwise, and it's no longer bumping against the detent, and off it comes. Now if I want to just put back the muzzle brake, again same thing, and again it's going to come up on the detent position slot and should click. Just like that. And again, you can see relative to the front sight post the slant angle of the slant brake. So I'll take this out of the picture, put these back into view, and wrap this up. So again, we were taking a look at some blank firing adapters, two styles for the AK or AKM AK47 style platform. There are adapters for other Eastern Bloc platforms like the RPK, PKM, AK74, the AN platforms. Similar, but their connectivity will vary because of the different diameter of the barrels and that they would be threading their diameters onto. So again, East German version, Polish version for the AK47 platform, 7.62 by 39 millimeter typical barrel, blank firing adapters for adapting use for blank ammunition and to continue proper operation of the AK item being used. This has been another show and tell video. Feel free to check out other show and tell videos on vintage, milsurp tools, and other expanded topics. We also do unboxing videos, as well as a series of book review and media reviews, and a series called Curios for the Curious, videos on more artsy type objects. Feel free to check all those out. Feel free to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you next time.